Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to show you all the artwork that I completed for my Fundamental of Design class for the fall semester. So if you want to see what's inside this book, then keep on watching. Jingle bell, so here's the table of contents, all the artwork that you will see in here. Oh, and for all these, we had to have like a theme, so you'll see the same font, the same header, and the same border on each. And for each assignment, I had to write an assessment, which is right here on each page as we go along. And we just had to write how our thoughts process and the objectives and how we accomplished the objective and the materials that we used and how well we used each media. So for this one is the idea board. What's special about this class is that for each project we had to take an idea from our idea board and we had to incorporate it somehow into our other drawings. Like for the next project, you'll see I incorporated these circles into my project. As you see, another circle here. And for each project, we had to have a letter, a object, and a color, and we had to incorporate that somehow. So my object is the seashell. It's actually a real seashell. I used to collect them on the beach, but I haven't seen some in years of seashells, so I don't know what happened to all the seashells. So my letter is J because that's my favorite letter because that's what my name starts with. And my color is purple, which is my favorite color. So I decided to go with that. So here's my next one. I believe I made a YouTube video on this. So if you want to see that, I'll link it up here in the iCard. And this is one of my favorites. I was not expecting it to go as well as I thought it did because I'm not that good at inks, but this project definitely made me change my mind. I really love Zentangles. They're actually really fun to make, and I might do some in the future. And when my shop opens, I might have this available as a coloring page or print. I'm not sure. I'm leaning toward more of the coloring page since it's black and white. And yeah, I really like how this turned out. The girl, if you can tell, the girl's blowing bubbles. And my letter is J, which is seen right here in this little pattern. My color's purple, and the shell. This is the shell right here. I think it's really cool how to incorporate those three things into each drawing. So here's the next one. I also have a art video about this if you want to see how I made this. So this is my first acrylic painting and the first time doing a kind of perspective drawing. It was really hard because I'm not really good at perspective drawings, but I think it turned out good. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could change, like the window, that's not really as perspective as I wanted it to be. And the letter is J. I just incorporate that as using like her name. I don't know, she looks like a Julia to me, so that's what I went with. Color's purple, and my shell is right there. I did use color pencils on top because I felt like it would be easier to add those details in there, especially for the shell. And my favorite part was probably coloring this bookshelf. It really looks really realistic. I went with a pink and gray bedroom because I thought those colors went good together. And also part of this project was I had to incorporate 50% gray values and 50% the colors of the rainbow. So that's what I had to do for this one. And I like it, and I think it turned out really good. One, I believe I did a video on this. Yes, I did, because I remember the tripod fell on my head and I was hurting for the entire day. Anyways, This is a neutral collage, and we had to use only neutral colors. And the collage part is right here. In the fishes, the shells, and the mountains. The mountains are magazine clippings, and these are just printed from online. And I really like how it turned out. I thought it was going to be a struggle to use only neutral colors, but it wasn't that hard as I thought after I did this little study, which I'll show you at the end of the video, or the end of this book. So we had to use flats, and we also had to use 3D objects. So the 3D object is the gems, and hope you could spot out my letter because it's at the top of each tree. I thought it was like a cool effect or a cool thing to incorporate my letter. And the shell is right here, and my color is purple. So yeah, I like how this one turned out as well. It's not one of my favorites, but I do like how the trees turned out. That was my first time painting trees, and actually not that hard as I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, I really like it. I do want to do a painting like this with acrylics, of course, but without the collage effect. So look forward to seeing that. All right, this is not really well, it was a project. I mean, it's graded. This is like a little study using different kinds of, what's that called? Textures. Different kinds of textures using acrylic paints. And yeah, I think this was a really fun experience. I didn't know you can do all this with acrylic paint. This one is Bonbons. I used that with a straw and some watered down acrylic paint. Sponge, use that with a sponge. Graffito, use that using something like to scratch it off. I did 2 little samples here. I did one. First time I did it, it was too thick, so I couldn't really see the scratches. And then the next time I did it with, and you have to let the paint like not dry all the way as well. So embed it, you embed something in here. I used uncooked spaghetti. And then this one is frottage. You paint a layer of paint, and then you add a thin piece of paper on top using some kind of texture. Resist. This one, was that resist? Yes, this one's resist. And I use that with rubber cement. Also, you can use that stuff for watercolors. I forgot what it's called. Masking fluid. You can use that. And I thought this was really cool. I didn't know you can use that with rubber cement. I thought that was just for gluing things down, but I did learn that. Collage, that's not really acrylics, but that was part of it. Fingerprinting, you use your finger. And printing, this one was really hard. First I tried to use bubble wrap, that didn't work. And then I had to like imprint something, so I just used my car key to imprint that. I don't know if you can see that. It's like really faded out and lifting. You put a layer of paint down and then you lift it off with something. I use tape to do that. And impasto, this one actually has like a texture to it, which I like. I wish you guys can feel this, but hopefully you can see it and just like kind of like imagine feeling it. So there's that. I just love feeling this. It's like so rough yet up here smooth. And I use this, I forgot what it's called, but I'll put it on the screen if I can remember what it's called. And gel medium, that's what it's called, gel medium. I use gel medium for that. Mix gel medium with paint and then just splash it on here. It does take a while to dry, but you get these cool effects. Kind of reminds me of like the ocean, so that's why I did it like this. This is really, I learned so much to do with acrylics. And this is where I use these textures on here. I use 6 different textures. And if you want to see that video, again, I'll link it up here in the iCard. And up here, I use resist, I use collage. For the face, I use, I think that was graffito. Yes, graffito for the hair. I use blown bots and fingerprints for the flame, and then I use lifting for the shirt. So for this one, I use 6 different textures as I just listed. And I also had to use a color scheme. Since my color was purple, I had to use purple, red, and orange, I believe, on the color wheel. So this is like the lowest grade that I got in this class. I honestly don't know how I got a 75, but I guess it's because I didn't use a lot of purple, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. But this is kind of like a bluish purple, I guess. I did use a dark purple, but purple is like a really hard color to mix when you're using acrylic paint. At least it is for me. I should have bought like a tube of paint like she recommended, but I don't like to go the easy route sometimes. I like to challenge myself. And eventually, I did mix paint very, very well. So that's a good sign. And yeah, I like how this turned out. So if you're wondering where my J is right here. And this little red thing right there. I actually kind of forgot about the letter. I don't know how I forgot about the letter. So I was like, oh, this looks like a J, I'll just use that. That could be part of the reason why I got the grade that I got. Color's purple, and the shell was right here in the corner. But I had to take it off because it was like a big of a shell, and I did paint it red. And it didn't fit in this book. One is rhythm and movement. So for this one, I did on the computer, and I did not make a video on that. So I did a recipe of how to make cinnamon rolls. Actually, I just made these a couple days ago, actually. And so you put the ingredients in, you stir, then you add milk and butter mixture to the flour or to the dry ingredients, and then you knead it, and then you roll it out, and then you put the brown sugar and cinnamon on it, and then you cut them, or you roll them and then you cut them, and you put them in the tray, and then they're done. Or you bake them and then they're done. Don't eat them raw, that's not good. And yeah, I like how this turned out. Let me take this out so you guys can see it. So there's a glare to it. So since I did this digitally, I had to print it out. And I like how it turned out. It turned out really good. Actually, I forgot to incorporate my J in here too. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that. But here's the shell right here. It's probably hard to see. I could barely see it when I printed it out. And the J, like I said, is not on here because I forgot to do it. And the color is purple, the background's purple. So yeah, I will put the original on the screen, the digital one on the screen so you can see it, because this one, like when you print things, it doesn't turn out, the colors get like a little bit darker. So there's that. But yeah, I like how this turned out. I had really struggled time drawing the hands out, so I ended up tracing most of them. But yeah, turned out good. Just to save time. Most of these projects I waited the last minute to complete them. So with rhythm and movement, I had to, this is like a movement, like chopping things down. That's what those little accents are for. And then like the mixing, that's a gradient, I believe. And adding the ingredients, that's another movement. And kneading, that's like a timeline of kneading. And that's a movement. And then this is a movement. And yeah, and then placing them down is a movement as well. So yeah, I really like how this turned out. Again, I will show the digital one on the screen right now. So with this one, I'm not even gonna take it out because I ran out of ink, but I will put it on the screen right now as I talk about it. So for this one, it's called Unity and Balance. I used a bunch of eyeballs. Yeah, I just could not think of anything to do about Unity and Balance. So we had to divide the page into at least 9 different, I guess, sections / grids. The helpful thing was the grids didn't have to be like symmetrical. They could be like these, as big or small as I wanted them to. So we had to have a focal point, which I think I kind of didn't know about. Well, not didn't know about, but I kind of like forgot about that. Well, not forgot about it. I don't know how to describe what I did, but I guess I just didn't like read all the instructions right. So I just said that my focal point was the eye in the middle, which is the green eye. That is like the smallest little grid there is. And yeah, I really don't really like this one. I mean, I do like the eyes because I love drawing eyes. But other than that, I don't really like this one. This one is my favorite out of all of them. I really like how this turned out. I did the sketch digitally and then I printed it out and drew it out. And I really like how this turned out. The detail, how the girl is thinking and stuff. Yeah, I believe I made a YouTube video on that. So if you want to see that, I'll link it in the iCard. And yeah, this is one of my favorites. So it's called Scale and Balance. So we had to have a road. It didn't have to be like a road. It had to be like a river or some kind of like road, some kind of path leading your eye. And depth and scale, we had to have like things in the background that looked like the things in the foreground. We also had to have like warm colors in like the front area and then cool colors in the back. But at first I was like, I don't know how that's gonna go. But then as I started coloring it, I was like, this is gonna turn out really good. So the base, I used markers, and then on top I used color pencils to add more details. And I really like how the mountains and these lollipops turned out. So these things are lollipops. I kind of took inspiration from the Lorax with the trees and stuff, but except for the fluffy trees, they're just lollipops. And she's also holding one, which brings in the depth and scale. This lollipop is supposed to be the same size as one of these lollipops, apparently, but so my letter is J, which is found on her little button of her overalls. And my color is purple, and I was supposed to put the shell on the hat, but I ended up coloring over it, and then I forgot to put it in when I did the color pencils. So that's on my part, but I really like how this turned out. It's like one of my favorites. I think I'm gonna make a print of this when my shop opens up because it's one of my favorites. And yeah, it's called Lost in Thought, and I just love how it turned out. The colors, the color palette, everything. So yeah. So that is all for today's video, and in tomorrow's video I will do the exact same thing but not have any commentary, just in case some people don't want to hear the commentary. So yeah, I'll just flip through it and not say a word. So if you want to see that, then stay tuned to tomorrow's video. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next video, and I hope everyone stays safe and has a wonderful day. See you in my next video. Bye.